The Inevitability of Death and the Case for a Creator. Neil deGrasse Tyson once speculated that maybe life is an inevitable consequence of complex chemistry. If this is true, then life is simply an emergent property of complex molecules behaving in a certain way under the right conditions. But if life is just chemistry, why does it inevitably end in death? Why do living organisms, despite being composed of the same molecules that once created life, eventually succumb to decay and cease to function? If the ability to generate life is inherently embedded in the molecules that form living beings, it follows that those organisms should be able to maintain their living status indefinitely. Yet, every living entity, no matter how complex or evolved, ultimately perishes. This fundamental truth raises an important question. If life is merely a product of chemistry, why is death an unavoidable certainty? One could argue that the inevitability of death strongly suggests an external force, a creator, who bestowed life upon these molecules in the first place. If life were purely self-sustaining, one would expect living organisms to have evolved a way to prevent death entirely. The fact that no creature, no matter how biologically advanced, has ever overcome mortality suggests that life is not merely a self-sustaining chemical process, but rather something given and ultimately taken by an external power. Consider this: would we, as a species, have ever contemplated the existence of a creator if we were immortal? It is the reality of death, the inescapable fate of every human being, that forces us to confront the possibility of something beyond mere physical existence. The search for meaning, the fear of the unknown, and the hope for continuity beyond death are all deeply tied to our understanding of a higher power. Some may counter that aging and death are simply part of the evolutionary process and do not require divine intervention. However, just because something follows a natural process does not mean it lacks purpose or origin. Science has proven the existence of countless unseen phenomena: infrared and ultraviolet light, radio waves, the Earth's magnetic field, none of which we can directly sense, yet we accept their reality based on evidence. Likewise, the existence of a creator should not be dismissed simply because we cannot see or touch this force in a conventional way. Atheists often demand that believers prove the existence of God, but the burden of proof should not rest solely on believers. If life is purely a product of natural processes, then the ultimate proof against the need for a creator would be humanity's ability to conquer death. If humans could achieve true immortality, then one might argue that life does not require divine intervention. However, as long as death remains an unbreakable law of nature, the possibility of a creator who governs life and death remains not only plausible but compelling. Thus, it is not solely the responsibility of believers to prove the existence of a creator. Rather, if atheists wish to disprove divine influence, they must first demonstrate that life can exist indefinitely without an external source, something humanity has yet to achieve.